Hello and welcome to New Jersey Politics with Laura Jones. I am Laura Jones and it is so good to have you here. One of the major issues facing New Jersey is the high cost of living, and lawmakers are in an election year here in the state, so they're going to be facing increased pressure to do something about it. And we're going to talk about that with Rosemary Becky. She is the president of Jersey First and is standing by. First up, though, we have the Essex County Executive. He's here, so let's get to it. With so much of New Jersey's population living and working in Essex County, it is no doubt a focal point of the state. Joining me now is the Essex County Executive Director, Joseph DiVincenzo. It's so good to see you, County Executive. Nice to see you.
It's nice to see you, Laura. We miss you.
Oh, well, I'm back, and it's happy to see you. I mean, it's amazing to think you've been in office now almost, 20 years. So let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk.
I'm going on my sixth term.
Wow. So Here we are, 2023. So let's talk a little bit about some of your priorities.
Well, listen, the priority was is getting our financial house in order, which we've done here in Essex County. We had junk bonds when I took over, and now our rating is increased about 15 times since I've been in office, and is steadily climbing up. So that's something that we're very proud of. And the thing is, if your house is not in order, you can't do the things that you would like to do. One of the biggest things that right now that we've accomplished just in the last 5 years, I was able through Christie, through Governor Murphy, get $250,000. We built 3 new vocational schools here in Essex County. We have the brand new Donald Payne School. We have West Caldwell, and also we have North Tech. And even besides that, what's being built right now on Bloomfield Avenue is the Essex County College West Essex campus, which we were in a very old school building there, and now we're going to be in a site that's absolutely beautiful. We have a parking deck behind it, and we're also building a brand new soccer field there. So It's going to be a complex within the complex.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about that, what's going on with the construction at the County College campus in West Caldwell. What are the benefits that it's bringing to the area?
To the area, we want to make sure we service the entire population of Essex County. There was a campus up there, but it was an old elementary school, and it was very much outdated. And you're asking somebody to participate to go to an elementary school, it just didn't make sense. So we want to make sure we boost our enrollment and that we cover not only Essex County, we cover Morris County, we cover Union County. We're going to make sure that the kids get a great education here and at a beautiful site. We have, of course, the North site that takes care of this section, but the West Essex was in dire need for it. And I know the residents of West Essex is very happy what's going on there. Because not only do we have the college there, we also have the technical school right there on Passaic Avenue, West Caldwell.
Right. Well, and people also want a place where they can grow, where they can feel safe and secure. And you're also working on some improvements around some of the parks in Essex County, Eagle Rock Reservation and Brooktail Park. So can you talk a little bit about what's going on there?
Listen, our parks were totally neglected prior to me taking over, because it wasn't a priority. Not that the other guys, the county exec, were wrong, because there was financial trouble. But I made it a priority because I knew it was a part of quality of life. One of the things, our park system in the county, in Essex County, is the first county park system in the country, and they were neglected. What we have done the last 20 years, myself, and of course my parks team, is turn it around where we are probably got the best park system in the country. When I took over, there was only 17 parks. I added 6 parks to Essex County. That doesn't include Eagle Rock, South Mountain Reservation, Mills Reservation. We actually have Bluefield. The Eagle Rock Reservation there, we've done major improvements there. Our 9/11 memorial's up there. I don't know if you've ever been up there.
Oh, it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
It's right over New York, and we were the first ones that built one that really recognized the 3,000 people that lost their life. And every year, we have a ceremony up there. but we did major improvements up there. We're going to continue doing that, and we're going to continue doing the things that we're doing in the parks. The people enjoy it, and thank God we have beautiful parks, because I believe that helped Essex County get through a difficult situation with COVID.
Yeah.
You know, which we our public needed that, because we had so many loss of lives here in Essex County.
Yeah.
But we ran 5 vaccination sites here in the county. And if you ask anyone throughout the state of New Jersey, there's no question ours was probably one of the best, not only here in the state, but probably throughout the country. We've been recognized that. And that was made up of people that work here, our health office, our volunteers, that helped through that. And it's something we're all very, very proud of. But the parks played a major role, because remember when that first came out, I mean, I know it was a scary situation. Nobody knew what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
And so we had an outlet for our residents here, and something that they can enjoy.
I mean, and Essex County, it's so diverse in the urban, suburban, that other counties. Do you work with other counties? We recently had on the Trenton mayor talking about some of the things that they're looking to do to try and improve with the 250th anniversary of our country. Coming and people don't feel safe in some of the parks and some of these beautiful, beautiful places where so much history has happened. Do they look to what you've accomplished in Essex County? Because it's obviously taken a long time to be able to accomplish.
Listen, I've been elected for my 6th term. I believe they do like the things that we've done and things that we've accomplished. But one of the major things that I did right from the beginning, because anybody who was in my position who was a Democrat, all you needed to win was 5 towns. And you mentioned something about diversity. Our county is the most diverse county in the state of New Jersey. And I believe that is our strength, because we're an example not only for other counties, but for other states, what we've done here. And I made sure that every town, we have 22 towns, made it a priority that, we might have our separate needs, but we're all one. We're one family. So whatever I did on one side of the county, whether it be in Newark, Milburn, Livingston, Nutley, we did it. And that meaning the parks, the roadways, the bridges. And that's what we did. We reached out and we made people feel that they were part of a great county. That was missing for years, even when I was a freeholder and stuff. Now the people here in Essex County are very happy what we've been doing. Also, I said about our financial house is in order. In the last 5 years, all right, we only increased taxes 0.60. In the last 10 years, it's been 1.06. In the last 20 years, it's only been 2% increase, which that's something I'm very proud of, because here we are doing all these things, and people always question, what are we doing? How are we able to keep it down? It's because we have good friends in the state, and every governor who's been there, whether Democrat or Republican, has been very, very helpful here to us in Essex County, because they see what we're doing with the money.
Yeah. Well, how difficult is that? It's an elected office, but you can't be too political, because you have to be able to work with both sides of the aisle. You have to be able to know how to work with Trenton. You have to be able to know how to work with mayors, with freeholders. There are a lot of moving parts, people with very different points of views who advocate passionately for what they believe in. How do you try to keep the politics out of it and accomplish?
Elections are only twice a year. All those other days, it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat, Republican, or independent. And that's one of the belief, but that's my strength, is being able to work across the aisle. And that's how we've been able to get done. Listen, Chris Christie was a Republican. He was very, very important to Essex County. He did a great job for us to making sure that the things that we needed as far as schools, that he was there and supported, or as far as parks, getting money from them. And just continued into Governor Murphy. And Murphy kept, what he said he was going to do, he did. And he's been very, very supportive to us. People could see what we're doing with the money and how quickly and what we're putting it to, whether it's schools, whether it's hospitals, or whether it's the parks. It's very easy to get the money as long as we continue to do the right thing, and also the right thing by the taxpayers. Essex County, they pay their fair share of taxes, probably too much. And that's why we have to do all these other things, try to increase revenue, to bring in revenue, to be able to do the things that we do. You can't do it on the backs of the taxpayers. And I think that's what we have shown the people of Essex County.
Right. That transparency, right? People know it's expensive to live in New Jersey, but if you are honest and upfront, sometimes it makes those difficult decisions a little bit easier.
Hey, Laura, to be where we were junk bonds. We were compared to California, Orange County. When I took over, we had towns that wanted to succeed Essex County. They wanted to go to Morris County. They wanted to Union County. So I had a very tough job, and I couldn't do it alone. I did with my directors, division directors, and the 3,500 employees here. You know, I said we have to work each and every day to prove themselves why we're here. We're here to provide the services that are necessary to service everyone throughout Essex County. And I think we're doing that, and we got to continue to do it.
Yeah, so as you're going into your sixth term, what are you most excited about? What are you most optimistic about?
Well, listen, first and foremost is the financial house, is to continue doing what we're doing, to do a lot more and making sure the taxes stay as low as they can stay. And we're going to continue to do the things now, parks, infrastructure, building bridges and stuff, repairing things. But the big thing that we have to do on this side, which we've been doing, I told them, after you get done building all the things that we have built here, you have to be able to maintain it.
Yeah.
And that's what our residents here in Essex County, they love it. First of all, they don't know what you're doing. Then when you build it, they love it. Then they say, well, how are they going to maintain it now? And that's what I put on my staff each and every day. We have to be able, whatever we build, whatever we construct, we have to be able to maintain it and be able to keep it up. Yeah. And that was my commitment that I made to the residents of Essex County.
And you've got the location. It's amazing location.
It's a great location here. It's very close to the airport, very close to the train station. We have these park and rides at our different parking decks, which helps the residents get to where they got to go, whether it's New York or stuff. And Essex County well. I mean, it's just a great county, and the best thing is here in our county, and people have recognized it, is our diversity. It's not a weakness; it's a strength because everyone is engaged. Parks were neglected totally in our inner cities. Now you go there, you see for yourself, they're all first class.
Yeah, and that 9/11 memorial, if people haven't gone to see it, it really is. It's
that was one of the first things I did when I was president of Freeholder Board, is to make sure that, and I told them, because I had to raise all the dollars for that, we had to get it done in 1 year, because I had to raise $1.2 million to be able to build that. The memorial there. And I told our people we need to get it done quickly because people seem to forget year after year. And we were able to do it. We were able to raise the dollars for that. And the public came out, the corporations, everyone supported. And every year we have a service there recognizing the 3,000 that lost their lives, so that we always could remember what happened on that particular day. Everything that I do, I try to be able to teach and make it be part of history.
Well, we thank you so much for coming on, for talking to us about what's happening, how far you all have come, and what to look forward to in the future. It's really good seeing you.
Thank you, Lauren. Same here.
One of the major issues facing New Jersey is the high cost of living, and politicians are facing increasing pressure to do something about it. It is, after all, an election year. Joining me now to provide some insight into the issue is Rosemary Becky. She's president of Jersey First. It's good to see you, Rosemary. Thanks for coming on the show.
Great to see you, Laura. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's first, for people who may not be familiar with Jersey First, can you tell us a little bit about the organization you represent?
Sure. So Jersey First is an advocacy organization. And what we do is we talk about the issues that are facing hardworking New Jerseyans. And right now, we're very focused on the affordability issue. New Jersey is so unaffordable at the moment. Our businesses can't afford to stay here, nor can our residents. And so we're really talking about the need for us to find some solutions here.
Yeah, so let's talk about what is driving the current affordability issue, right? There are jobs here, but then especially younger people, they can't afford to move in. But what is at the core that is driving this affordability issue?
So we think what's at the core of this issue is, number one, our taxes are too high, right? Not only are our corporate taxes the worst in the nation, but so are our income taxes as well as our property taxes. And then the other thing, and what's driving our high taxes, is the spending that's going on here in New Jersey. And we really need to scale it back. I mean, just like every family in this state, everybody needs a budget that they can live within. And so we think it's really important that we not only lower the taxes here in New Jersey, but we reduce the amount of spending that's going on.
Are there areas, and the governor hasn't presented his budget yet, but are there areas, and sometimes transparency is an issue. People will say, well, we don't know because we don't know what's being sent. But, what areas do you think are being mismanaged, or where is money going where maybe it shouldn't go? What are your thoughts?
I think it's just a general proposition here in New Jersey. I think that we fund too many programs. We've really just kind of need to take a hard look at what we're spending our money on and reduce those, decide what are priorities for New Jersey, and spend our resources on that. We need to fully, fund our higher education programs so that our kids actually stay here in New Jersey and go to school here in New Jersey. I think that's, something that we ought to be doing, immediately. So, and again, looking at ways that, look, we just can't afford all the programs we're doing, and tighten the belt.
Yeah. Well, so, what are then the downstream effects? You're touching on a little bit, people aren't staying to go to college here because the colleges are even more expensive than what you get in some southern schools or other schools, other state schools. And even though you're in state here, it's cheaper to go out of state. And that shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be. And, it was actually something when we did some research, actually back when Jersey First launched, and we took a look at our economy and what was happening in New Jersey. And one of the things that we saw was that all of our kids are going out of state for higher ed, and they're not staying here. And a lot of the reason behind that is because it's so expensive to stay here and go to college. And so what's happening is we give these kids these incredible K through 12 education, and then they leave the state and they don't come back until much, much later in their life, if at all.
Right. And what do you think is happening? Why aren't colleges, and I think we've touched on this before, when my daughter went through her college application, the state schools weren't really reaching out to her. Do the state schools want the out-of-state tuition? What's going on? Do you know?
So one of the things you see a lot is the cost for our kids to stay in state is pretty much the same as if they were going out of state, or the cost for out of state students to come to New Jersey. And so there's not this real incentive for them to stay here. And so I think that has a lot to do why they're leaving.
Yeah. Well, you recently wrote an op-ed, and it was about your view of the need to cut corporate tax, similar to how Pennsylvania did. So can you talk a little bit about what they did and how it might be applicable here and how it could help in New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, fundamental to getting businesses here in New Jersey and businesses to stay is we've got to make it competitive. And, that's exactly what Pennsylvania did. They recognized that they needed to lower their corporate tax to do it. And they did it actually in a really responsible way. They looked at lowering the tax over a period of time, which again is something that could easily be done here in New Jersey. And our governor has said he is going to let our surtax expire at the end of the year. It's an surtax that we have on corporations here in New Jersey. I really hope that he sticks to that, because I do think that's an important first step.
Yeah. Well, and then also, not only are taxes, less in areas, is there a concern that Pennsylvania is starting to try to recruit some of our businesses across the river?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, if you're a business, right, and you've got to look across this country and look at the places where you can find the best talent. And you get your best ROI. And so New Jersey right now is just not that. While we have talent, we're losing talent, because again, not only are the businesses leaving because taxes are too high and things like that, people are leaving as well, and people are finding that they can go somewhere else and they can keep more of their monies. We have a real opportunity with Netflix coming here to New Jersey, and we ought to be taking advantage of that opportunity to say, hey, all those jobs that could be created, we're going to make sure not only are we going to create those jobs, but we're also going to keep people here in New Jersey. And a big part of that is making sure that taxes on individuals are low as well.
Well, is there any legislation in the pipeline to deal with that? Is the state working with Economic Development Authority to create tax incentives to, to ensure businesses stay here and invest in the state?
Yeah, no, so there's a number of bills out there that I think are a great blueprint. You've got Assemblywoman Vicki Flynn, who I recently did a program with, and she's advocating for a lower corporate tax rate. And again, in a very responsible way of lowering it over a period of time. You also have Senator Bucco and others who have a bill that would actually index the income tax brackets to inflation, so that we're really capturing those who should be taxed at a particular rate. So that's a really responsible thing. It's done at the federal level, something that could easily be done at the state level as well.
Yeah, so with this being an election year, legislature is up for election, re-election. How optimistic are you feeling that that these pieces of legislation will move forward and actually come into being and affect change?
I think there's a great opportunity here, particularly as the New Jersey budget unfolds, to get some things initially done here at the end of our budget cycle, beginning of our new budget cycle at the end of June. It is an election year, and the reality is that we rank worst in the nation for corporate taxes and the corporate environment. And so I do think there's a real opportunity for both sides to come together and enact some change.
Yeah, I mean, it's expensive to live here. It's expensive to do business here. On another show, we talked about how it's expensive to deal with the court systems. In New Jersey, ranks at the top of it being really expensive, and it's something that lawmakers are always having to deal with. So again, optimism for the 2023 election cycle. Feeling somewhat optimistic. There's an opportunity, but how optimistic are you?
Yeah, I am very optimistic. Look, I mean, New Jersey is a phenomenal state. It's a wonderful place to raise a family. And we just need to make sure that it's affordable for people to work, to live, and to retire here. We haven't even touched upon it. We are losing more people who retire and just find it too expensive to stay here in New Jersey. And again, we've got to do something to keep those folks here.
Right. Because it's not just the weather that they're going for. It's going for a lower cost of living. People on fixed incomes, they're not able to stay in their own homes that are already paid for because of taxes.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Rosemary, thank you so much for coming on the show. We always look forward and enjoy having you on to hear your insights and would love to see you back again.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Big changes could be on the way to school lunches in New Jersey and across the nation. Monica Guy tells us what it could mean for the breakfast and lunches many kids eat every day.
Following up on the Biden administration's national strategy on hunger, nutrition, and health, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has been tasked with making school meals healthier.
In the next 10 years, my plan, as was already referenced, would make at least 9 million more children eligible for free school meals, a major first step for free meals for every single student. And we're also supporting schools so they can cook more meals from scratch, purchase more food from local farmers and ranchers.
Less sugar and sodium and boosting the number of whole grains. The changes will be phased in through 2027, and they could look something like this. Sugars would be limited in breakfast cereals and yogurts beginning in 2025. And then over the next 2 years, sugars will make up less than 10% of all of the calories in each meal. Sodium would be cut by 20%. And when it comes to whole grains, the USDA is considering two options. One calls for 80% of all grains offered during the school week to be whole grains. That means a lot less white bread for sandwiches. The other plan could allow for enriched grain foods, like flour tortillas. When it comes to milk, one option limits flavored milk for high school students, while the other allows flavored milk for all grades. Well, nothing is written in stone just yet, so don't stress over whether or not your kids will actually drink plain milk. Head to regulations.gov, follow the online instructions for posting comments and weighing in on what you think about the proposals. And remember, all comments are part of the public record. I'm Monica Guy reporting.
And that will do it for today. Thank you so much for watching New Jersey Politics with Laura Jones. I am Laura Jones, and we look forward to seeing you back here next time.